course, the fact that those tourists were indeed interacting with learning the entire coffee value chain from production right on the farm and right to consumption at the cup, and being from various parts of the world. We now want to get into a conversation to bring that into perspective. And Michael Waroi is Executive Director at Fairview Estate. He now joins us from our city center studios. Mr. Waroi, karibu sana, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. Now, I want you to bring into perspective what exactly we have just seen there. The fact that these are tourists from all across the world, all shades and colors. We've seen different races coming to your farm in Kiambu County, and they essentially want to interact with coffee at various places along the value chain. Why are you doing this?
Well, the reason we're doing this is quite simple. We've been producers of coffee for the last 40 years. The Fairview Estate has come under ownership, but the estate itself was established in 1909. Now, one of the things that we teach our domestic and international visitors is how coffee is grown, how it's processed, and then they get an opportunity to taste the brands at the end of the experience. Traditionally, the Kenyan coffee is renowned worldwide, and so there's a great interest from visitors from all around the world. We get visitors from the United States, from Europe, from Asia, and other parts of the world, and with a keen interest on having a different and unique experience. And we've been fortunate over the last 2 years to develop this. I think part of the value add of having an experience such as this is that, from a business perspective, as opposed to selling coffee through the auctions where we get perhaps $3 or less per kilo, when we sell coffee direct to markets overseas, and we've been doing that for a number of years now because we are certified by a number of organizations, UTS, Global Coffee Practice, Starbucks, Rainforest Alliance. So we sell about 90% of our coffee direct. But now we want to sell more and more coffee on farm. And by doing that, we're able to secure $20 per kilo, which is unheard of in the Kenyan coffee industry. So we offer a very unique experience to our visitors, looking for a unique Kenyan experience. And they are able to be educated at the same time. And because we offer, in addition to the coffee tourism, we have a beautiful dam site, we have beautiful waterfalls. For domestic visitors, they often, if they arrange by prior experience, are able even to do unique experiences such as fishing, even milking a dairy cow. So we offer, a lot. We have a website where we list all these experiences, www.fairviewestate.co.ke. So one is able to book online and come to Fairview at a very reasonable price.
Let's talk about the fact that you've just raised there, that you have been able to achieve direct sales into the various global markets, and that you're now exploring diversification by being able to actually continue to sell at the farm and be able to achieve much better results. Do you think this is the way to go for the rest of the coffee market in Kenya, especially bearing in mind the challenges that the sector has gone through in the past?
I think it's a niche experience for those who have maintained their coffee to an exceptionally high standard. So Fairview, because we've been in this business 40 plus years, is renowned by some of the primary buyers who come to Kenya to seek the Kenyan coffees. So there is a niche market. I think I'd compare it much to the experience that you would find in a Cape Town, for example, where you would go and visit the wine estates, see how the grapes are grown, and at the end of the tour, get to sample, the various wines, and hopefully, the intention of those estates is that you'd buy a great proportion. So you end up perhaps, spending $300-400 on purchases of wine, whereas the entry charge is maybe $10-20. We're trying to replicate that experience here in Kenya, but only for along the coffee value chain as opposed to the wine value chain. And so I think it's a possible a huge opportunity. In South Africa, for example, with that comparable value chain, they earn literally billions of dollars from doing that. We really are just at the beginning here in Kenya, and we are the innovators here at Fairview Estate. And we hope the rest of Kiambu perhaps would catch on, that this is a possible opportunity not only to enhance the tourism product, but to enhance the experience of the farmer who wants to add value to their produce.
Yes, let's talk about the coffee itself. The fact that for a very, very long time, Kenyan coffee has been renowned on the world market, but mainly as a tool for blending other coffees that are of less quality. Our AA is renowned, but has been sometimes criticized for being acidic. What sort of coffee do you put out? Is it specialty coffee, or is it coffee that generally will be suitable for all sorts of palates out there?
Yes, it's specialty coffee of the very, very highest standard. Like you rightly say, Kenyan coffees are used to blend other coffees on the world market. But these we sell AA, AB, and PB are our top grades. And we produce at Fairview perhaps 50% of our coffee on these top category grades. And like I said, because we have certified, gone through the effort of certifying our coffee through those certification organizations like Rainforest Alliance, Global Coffee Practice, and UTS, we're able to get a better price premium. One, arising out of the certification process, but now increasingly arising because tourists can come and experience more than just coffee production, but see how the processing is done, and at the end of the day, taste the brands and hopefully enjoy the experience so much that they want to go away with a part of Fairview for their family and friends overseas, and also here domestically.
Certification also means that you then have to adhere to much higher standards, including, of course, the fact that there are some chemicals that you can't use. You're supposed to start to go organic. Do you find that then that plays a bigger role in being able to enable you market your coffee to, well, people who are better able to pay a premium?
Yes, I think our approach has been to partner with the experts in this regard. And so we have Coffee Management Services as our technical partner who manages the day-to-day operations concerning coffee. The fertilizer applications, what you can or cannot do, the various technical aspects concerning coffee, whether it's the pruning or the irrigation or the various inputs and the management of the labor that you need to produce a quality cup. So we do have technical partners in this regard. We also have technical partners on the coffee tourism side. So, for example, we have very high quality bags produced by our partner Water's Life, and the proceeds from these bags with which we sell the coffee, a proportion of that goes towards the water needs for the Maasai community in southern Kenya. This particular organization has provided water to about 50,000 within the Maasai community. We also have various CSR activities over the years. Fairview, for example, has educated over 1,000 children who have passed through, of the workers' children and also from the surrounding community. So we take very seriously, our opportunities to partner, both from a technical perspective, but also from a CSR perspective, so that we truly are creating all-round value. And that goes a long way to enhancing, I think, the view and the perspective that our visitors have towards Fairview, which is very positive.
Yes, finally, let's talk about the youth. The fact that the average age of a Kenyan farmer tends to be north of 60, more likely 64, 65 years. And there has been this move to try and get the youth to start to take up agriculture again. But the perspective has been that they regard it as a thing that belongs in the past, especially because so far there has been very little in terms of technology, mechanization, modernization. Do you think what you're doing today will be able to enable the country start to rope in more youth into the agriculture value chain?
Well, I think so. Let me for a start say that all of our existing staff in the coffee tourism segment of the business are below 30 years of age. We do employ about 100 workers, but within the coffee tourism business in particular, we have a very young staff who are techie savvy, We are, on all, social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. And I believe that if you are able to innovate in the right way, then one can make farming an interesting business to get into. So in this instance, for example, if one is able to do it the right way, and again, the comparable being, what they're doing in South Africa, then I think, you can really make an honest living from farming. And I think not only in the coffee sector, but I think, Kenya, across all agricultural sectors, needs to creatively think about how we can add value to our various produce, be it tea, be it, coffee, maize, whatever it is that we produce as Kenyans. We certainly can be creative about it and add a lot more value here at home.
Let's then talk about taxation and, of course, the regulatory perspective. Of course, we know that you do work in conjunction with the country government. Have the various arms of government been able to do anything to support you in your business, especially from the perspectives of providing an enabling environment and enabling you access the export markets?
Well, we always look, for partnership, also indeed with the county government, and they have been supportive in terms of an annual festival that we have, which is known as the Kahawa Festival. We last held it 2 years ago, but intend to have it this year on the 27th of October at Fairview, and we're hoping to attract 1,000+ visitors on that particular day. And at this occasion, that we had in the last events, the county administration has been very supportive in terms of providing an enabling environment and partnership support in various non-cash ways, I would say. But we increasingly do look for more support, not only from Kiambu County, but indeed also from Nairobi. And so we had gotten conversations at some point where the Nairobi County could do bus tours coming into Fairview. And while we haven't progressed that to the extent that we should, we would welcome, that type of engagement and other things that would help boost domestic tourism and also international tourism.
Yeah, so in closing then, what does the future hold for the coffee estate? Of course, the fact that you have been able to diversify so much, the journey have been so long since the estate started up, and going into the future, what do you expect to be able to do, and what can, of course, the people who are watching us today expect from you in future?
Well, our vision is to have, within the next 5 to 10 years, roughly 70,000 domestic and international visitors who come to Fairview, see how coffee is grown, how it's processed, and they get an opportunity to taste the brands. It's also an extremely beautiful estate with, like I said, a waterfall, perhaps two times the size of Karura Falls, which many know about. We have a beautiful dam site where we typically have 1 or 2 weddings a month. And so, Kenyans are able to come in, get a chance to enjoy the nature, walk around. I think one of the experiences that our international visitors don't have enough of is walking. So they'll land at JKIA, take a minivan to their hotels, and then are in minivans, throughout much of their experience, going from national park to national park. Fairview gives them an opportunity to get outside, enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the bird life, and have an opportunity to engage with Kenyans. And one of the unique things we've done at Fairview is all our 100+ workers are trained in customer service. And so you should be able to get a really positive experience where our staff truly look forward to the opportunity to engage with other cultures and also fellow Kenyans who want to enjoy such an experience. So we would welcome Kenyans to come and support this innovation. If it is successful, and we hope that it will be, then in 10 years' time we'd be looking at even more in-depth businesses. For example, coffee theme park close to the city. And we really are about 20, 30 minutes away from the CBD, maybe 10, 15 minutes away from the United Nations complex in Gigiri. So it's a short distance away, and I think it's an opportunity that is affordable. We don't charge children below 12, between the ages of 12 and 18. We only charge them 500 shillings, and for domestic visitors, it's 1,000 shillings for something that is truly a very comprehensive tour undertaken by a very competent and friendly staff.
Are you exploring anything like accommodation, especially seeing as people travel so far, then spend a lot of their money on where they're going to spend the night and then just come to you as an outing? Is that in the future?
Well, it's in the offing. We, at the moment, presently don't have the accommodation facilities. Well, we have the facilities, but we haven't started offering those to outside visitors. We hope maybe in the next year or two to begin doing so. But right now, we do offer a morning tour, which runs from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and an afternoon tour, which runs from 2 to 4. One is able to book online and also to indicate whether they would like us to prepare, tasty lunches for them. It's more of a picnic lunch. And, we're happy to try and accommodate, the needs of our unique visitors as much as we can.
Okay, indeed. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. Of course, that being the perspective from the coffee industry, and that, of course, being Executive Director at Fairview Estates, Mr. Michael Warre. Of course, the innovation here being the fact that agro-tourism has indeed become a big chunk of what exactly the visitors into the country and, of course, local visitors can do on their time out and about. Thank you very much for your time. Now, of course, on that note, we want to take it to a short break, but indeed something to think about when you are on holiday. Indeed, a wholesome visit to a coffee farm, of course, see the associated different experiences in that entire area. That, of course, is the Fairview Estate Coffee Tour. Well, we want to now go to a short commercial break, but when we do come back this time, we will be crossing live to Kisumu and bring you up to speed on what exactly East Africa Breweries has been up to in that region, a 15 billion shilling investment, having recently completed construction. Of course, the fact that they have just tasted the first glass of Senator Keg. Do stay with us here on KTN News. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.